Let's talk about something that doesn't get said out loud often, but it happens all the time. There are men out there who deliberately target older women, not because they're looking for love, not because they're emotionally mature, but because they know exactly what to say to gain trust, pull on emotional strings, and take advantage. Some are after money, some want a place to live, others are just playing games with no intention of commitment. And what makes it worse? They're good with their words. They know exactly how to get in your head and in your life. If you've ever been sweet-talked by a man who seemed too smooth to be real, if you've ever given someone a second chance only to end up hurt again, or if you're dating again after years out of the game, this video is your wake-up call. Why this hurts. See, older women often approach relationships with openness, maturity, and the willingness to build something real. But that same openness can become a weak spot if you're not careful. According to a 2021 study from the Journal of Interpersonal Violence, women over 40 are increasingly vulnerable to romantic fraud. Not just online scams, but emotional manipulation in dating. And men who play these games, they know you're experienced, so they don't try amateur lines. They go for smart, calculated phrases that sound deep, but are designed to trap. This isn't about making you paranoid. It's about giving you clarity, because once you know the phrases these men use, they lose their power. So let's break down the 8 things men say to trap older women, and how to spot the game before it plays you. You're not like the other women I've dated. Let's start with this classic. It sounds like a compliment. It feels like he's noticing your uniqueness, your maturity, your class. But when men use this phrase early on, especially before really getting to know you, it's often a manipulation tactic. It feeds the ego. It creates a sense of specialness and lowers your guard. But here's what to ask yourself. Why is he comparing you to other women he's dated right away? Is he building you up so you'll tolerate more later? According to Dr. Julia Baum's research on love bombing, phrases like this are part of a strategy where manipulators shower you with praise up front, before showing their real selves. Watch out. A real man will admire you without tearing down other women. Age is just a number. I love older women. Now this one might seem flattering, especially if you've been hesitant about dating younger men. But when a man emphasizes how much he loves older women before learning who you are, it's often a red flag. Why? Because he's not seeing you. He's seeing a category, and he's likely got an agenda. Common agenda. He's fetishizing age and maturity. He assumes older women are more generous or forgiving. He's looking for a mother figure or someone to rescue him emotionally or financially. A 2022 survey from healthywomen.org found that over 30% of older women who dated younger men reported being used for financial help or emotional caretaking under the guise of admiration. Real attraction isn't about age, it's about compatibility, values, and respect. You deserve better. Let me treat you right. Sounds sweet, right? The problem isn't the words, it's when they're used too soon and too strong. If a man barely knows your story but already says he's the answer to all your past pain, be cautious. Many older women have been through difficult relationships. When someone says, "I'll never hurt you like they did," it can be disarming. But ask yourself, has he shown any actual behavior to match these words? Or is he trying to fast forward the emotional connection? According to therapist Sandra L. Brown, author of Women Who Love Psychopaths, emotionally manipulative men often identify wounds and rush to position themselves as the healer. Solution? Let actions, not words, build your trust over time. My ex was crazy. She didn't understand me like you do. This one might seem like he's opening up, being vulnerable, sharing past hurt. But pay attention. If a man speaks poorly of all his exes, especially in early conversations, you're not hearing honesty. You're hearing a warning. It makes you feel like you're the safe one, the one who finally understands him. That triggers empathy. You want to be the good one. People with unresolved patterns tend to villainize the past to manipulate the present. In interviews conducted by psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula, many women who were manipulated reported early conversations where men blamed every relationship failure on crazy exes. Your move? Listen without absorbing. If he can't take any accountability, it's only a matter of time before you're the next crazy ex. I've never felt this way about anyone. This line hits hard, especially when you've been craving emotional depth. But feelings this intense, this fast, that's not love, it's strategy. Why this is used: it creates a bond quickly. It makes you feel chosen, exceptional, safe, and it lowers your critical thinking. But look closer. How long has he known you? What does he actually know about your life, values, goals? If the connection feels like it skips steps, it's probably staged. In a study on emotional manipulation in relationships, Journal of Personality Disorders 2020, men who used exaggerated emotional declarations early were often linked to narcissistic traits and a desire to control the pace of the relationship. Let the relationship breathe. If it's real, it won't need a rush job. I've had a rough life. People always leave me. This one is tricky. It sounds like honesty. It might even seem like a cry for love, but it's often a setup. By framing themselves as a victim, these men tap into your nurturing instincts. They subtly make you feel responsible for not being like the others. This creates guilt. It pressures you to prove your loyalty, even if he shows red flags. Dr. Shannon Thomas, author of Healing from Hidden Abuse, calls this sympathy baiting. It's when manipulators use their pain as a shield to avoid accountability and speed up attachment. Compassion is good, but boundaries are better. You're not a rehab center for broken men. Let's not put labels on this. Why rush things? Translation: I want the benefits of a relationship without the responsibility. This line shows up when you've invested time, emotions, and possibly intimacy, but he's not committing. Why it works: it makes you look like the impatient one. It makes you second-guess your needs, and it keeps him in control. But reality: if someone's truly into you, they'll want clarity, not confusion. A 2020 Pew Research study showed that adults over 40 who fall into non-committal dating patterns experience more emotional distress and dissatisfaction long-term, especially women seeking serious connections. Is he building something with you, or just keeping you available? You're all I've got. You're the only one who understands me. This one is emotionally heavy. It might come after you've supported him emotionally, helped him through a crisis, or just been there consistently. And while it might sound like love, it's often dependency in disguise. Emotional isolation tactic. By framing you as the only one who gets him, he distances you from your support system and builds emotional obligation. And here's the cost: you start ignoring your needs to take care of his. You avoid confronting him because you fear hurting him. You slowly lose balance. Red flag from research: the Women's Aid Foundation reports that emotional dependency, when combined with guilt-based bonding, is a major feature of coercive control, especially in relationships where one partner is more emotionally mature. How to break the trap: stay grounded, keep your support system active, and remember, you can love someone without becoming their everything. Let's go over the 8 phrases men use to trap older women. You're not like the other women I've dated. Age is just a number. I love older women. You deserve better. Let me treat you right. My ex was crazy. She didn't understand me like you do. I've never felt this way about anyone. I've had a rough life. People always leave me. Let's not put labels on this. Why rush things? You're all I've got. You're the only one who understands me. These aren't always lies, but when they're used too soon, too intensely, or too often, they're not connection, they're manipulation. So what can you do? Stay aware of your emotional triggers. Don't rush intimacy, emotional or physical. Watch for patterns, not promises. Keep your circle strong. Talk to friends you trust. And most of all, trust your gut. You've lived through enough to spot games. You're not hard to love. You're just harder to fool now. And that's a good thing. So, how can you protect yourself from emotional manipulation? Let's face it, emotional manipulation is real. And for many older women navigating relationships, it's not always obvious when it's happening. The manipulation doesn't start with yelling or gaslighting. It often begins with sweet words, vague promises, and subtle guilt trips. You might hear things like, "You're the only one who understands me. If you really cared, you'd do this for me. Don't be so emotional. I didn't mean it like that." Sound familiar? This is emotional manipulation in disguise. It creeps in slowly and leaves you questioning your instincts, your worth, and even your sanity. In a study published in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence, researchers found that over 58% of women in emotionally manipulative relationships didn't recognize the manipulation until serious emotional damage was already done. It's not your fault. These tactics are designed to confuse and control, but once you learn to recognize the signs and build your defenses, the game changes. Here's the hard truth. Manipulators often target women they see as empathetic, nurturing, and loyal. Why? Because they know these women are more likely to give second chances. And third, and fourth, older women, especially those re-entering the dating world after a divorce or long-term relationship, are prime targets. Manipulators see you as someone who craves connection but might still be carrying emotional wounds. They'll use charm at first, then gradually shift into control. And the worst part? Emotional manipulation doesn't always come with big, explosive drama. Sometimes it looks like passive-aggressive remarks that make you doubt yourself, withholding affection as punishment, making you feel guilty for setting healthy boundaries, playing the victim every time you express your needs. If you've been in a situation where you feel drained, uncertain, or constantly apologizing, you may be in the middle of a manipulation cycle. But the good news, you don't have to stay there. Let's talk about real ways to protect yourself from emotional manipulation, backed by psychology and real-life experience. Know your boundaries and stick to them. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors with locks that you control. According to the American Psychological Association, clearly stated boundaries are one of the most effective defenses against emotional manipulation. Write down what's non-negotiable for you, then calmly assert those limits. If someone tries to twist or ignore them, that's your signal. Trust patterns, not promises. Manipulators are great at saying what you want to hear, but don't watch their lips, watch their feet. Are they consistent? Do their actions match their words? If a man constantly apologizes for crossing lines but keeps doing it, that's not forgetfulness, it's strategy. Learn to sit with discomfort without folding. One of the strongest tools a manipulator uses is emotional pressure. They'll create guilt, silence, or sulking to make you give in. Practice recognizing this pressure, then sit with it. Don't rush to fix it. You're not responsible for anyone's discomfort but your own. Keep a relationship journal. This is a practical step used in therapy. Write down what happens after each major conversation. Are you consistently feeling confused, blamed, or insecure? If so, you're not overreacting. You're being conditioned. Don't isolate, connect with objective. People manipulators want you emotionally dependent. Talk to trusted friends, coaches, or therapists. They can help you see patterns you might miss when you're emotionally involved. In a 2022 case published in Clinical Psychology Review, a woman in her 50s ended a 3-year emotionally manipulative relationship after therapy helped her track behavioral patterns. Journaling and weekly feedback from her therapist revealed cycles of guilt tripping, silent treatments, and love bombing, all of which she had normalized over time. Her turning point came when she realized manipulation thrives in secrecy. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. You are not too old to start fresh. Emotional manipulation is real, but it only works when you don't see it clearly. Now you do. So, the next time someone tries to twist your reality or guilt you into silence, remember this. You've got the tools, you've got the awareness, and you've got the power to walk away. What are the signs a man is truly genuine with an older woman? Let's be real. In today's dating world, especially for older women, it can be hard to tell who's truly genuine and who's just playing a role. You've probably met men who said all the right things, but their actions told a different story. You've been through enough to know that charm isn't the same as character. And here's the frustrating part. Some men specifically seek out older women, not because they respect them, but because they assume you'll be more patient, more forgiving, or more desperate for love. Harsh? Yes, but it happens. A 2021 study in the Journal of Relationships Research found that 45% of women over 45 reported having been emotionally misled or strung along in dating situations. So how do you know when a man's interest is real and not just a phase or a game? Let's break it down. A lot of older women second-guess themselves because society sends mixed signals. You're told to be confident but not too intimidating, to to stay independent but not too unavailable, to look young but still act your age. Meanwhile, a manipulative man might try to blur those lines even more. He might say things like, "You're not like other women your age. I've never dated someone older, but I'm open to trying. I'm still figuring things out. Can you be patient with me?" These aren't signs of genuine interest. They're signs he's unsure, possibly experimenting, or looking for emotional benefits without commitment. So, what does real sincerity look like? Here are 5 clear signs that a man is truly genuine in his connection with an older woman. Based on real behavior, not just words. He's consistent, even when no one's watching. Genuine men don't just show up when it's convenient. They follow through on their plans, return your calls, and communicate honestly, without you having to chase them. In relationship psychology, consistency is a top predictor of sincerity. He respects your independence. He doesn't see your age or life experience as a threat. He encourages you to maintain your routines, friendships, and identity. He's not trying to change you. He's trying to understand you. He asks about your past and listens without judgment. According to Dr. Carla Manley, a clinical psychologist, genuine partners listen with curiosity, not comparison. If he's interested in how your past shapes you and not just fishing for weakness, he's the real deal. He's emotionally available and open about his intentions. You don't have to guess where he stands. If he wants something serious, he says it. If he's working on himself, he owns it without putting it on you. He doesn't make age an issue. Real men don't use your age as a compliment or a critique. They're drawn to who you are, not how you fit into a category. You've earned the right to be with someone who's real, someone who sees your value, respects your journey, and shows up without games. When a man is genuine, you don't feel confused. You feel calm, and that peace, that's your confirmation.